everyone, Josie here. This episode was recorded during the summer of 2024, so some of the topics you'll hear may be outdated. If that's not a big deal for you, welcome to the group chat. Turn up the volume and enjoy eavesdropping as me and my friends gist about why Uganda is the place to be. All right, welcome back to the podcast, Why Uganda, where through discussing various themes, we explore why I, Josie, have kept coming back to Uganda, and ultimately what it's like navigating Uganda from both a local perspective and a foreigner's perspective. This episode, we're diving into religion. It's contentious, but we don't want to shy away from it, so let's get into it. I'm joined today with our lovely co-hosts, Agatha and Karane.
What up, what up, what up?
Hey. And our lovely guest, my fellow Cameroonian, Oswan.
Drums roll.
Cameroonian Ugandan, I should say.
From Yaoundé.
But I identify more
Born
with
and
Cameroon.
bred on the streets of Yaoundé.
Oh my goodness.
Yaoundé is a Francophone
Yaoundé
speaking side, I believe. Okay.
So Oswan, comment ça va? Okay.
I'm from the Anglophone side.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, women.
I'm so sorry you had the experience.
You threw me in the deep end just like
Oh my goodness. Listen. Okay, you know what? Let's get into it. Agatha, tell me, what did this week look like for you? I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. What did this week look like for you? What's one of the most interesting things you've witnessed in Uganda this week?
The fact that I have no toenail. Honestly, one thing that I've discovered about myself this week, I don't know how, but pain consumes me so much. Because ever since I hurt my toe, I cannot think of anything else. And I can't believe that people around me can't feel this pain and act accordingly.
Sorry, my G man.
It has been so difficult. I graduated.
Oh yes.
Yes.
From your program.
From a content catalyst program where I learned how to do podcasts actually. So that's great. And just is a reason why I did the show.
Listen,
that's what my
share the links with your friends. So you're like, I think you'd be good for this. Just apply. You got nothing to lose. You're not doing anything now anyways.
Right?
True.
Just apply.
It's really good. It's really good. And we all need to build our online presence, honestly. So even if it's not too...
So have you seen some benefits from that online presence?
Of course.
So on that note, I'm just going to plug all of us real quick. Follow us on our socials. You can find me at...
everywhere.
That's Agatha. I'm Hey, it's Josie everywhere. Karane, what about you?
They are fun day.
Period.
and also Oswan.
You're Oswan?
Yeah.
Spell that for the people.
Oswan.
Period. All right, Agatha. So you're over here trying to fight the pain, the tears, the vomit, everything.
And the fact that life has to move on.
Yes.
Like it hadn't hit me.
Yeah.
But I could not go to work because I have a missing toenail. And I was dying to tell my boss that I have no toenail.
You know the funny thing about getting such accidents is you never realize how important that specific body part is
Until
till it gets
now
messed
I'm
up.
leaving, but I have to go because I have meetings and meetings and meetings. Unfortunately for me, or unfortunately in this instance, I'm a leader at work, so I cannot not show up. Been so tough. But I'm good.
Okay. It's
and you
good
can
to
do
see.
so many things without a toenail.
I don't know if we want to know.
some things that are possibly painkillers too.
Well, I wish you a speedy recovery.
Thank
We're
you.
happy to have you here. Karane, what's up?
First of all, it started on a very wrong footing.
Not what's up with this theme about feet and toenails?
And pain.
But there's some whole electricity issue that blew up my plugs, and I was quite sad at the beginning of the week.
Oh no.
But midway the week, Ugandans relate to this so much. It was a guy with us. I think a guy is called Hozambe
Who that?
Shifula.
Okay, that's
So
what's
he's
thing.
it's a young rapper, young guy who recorded a random video in the ghetto. You know, they're chilling, but he's a rapper. He's that upcoming. So he just dropped a verse.
Must have been a freestyle
A
even.
young, beautiful lady on his lap called Shifula.
Oh.
So this has been trending, and it has been good vibes, man, because this is something that blows up. It's a bit about the internet. Like, you're trying to build and never know what blows up actually.
Right.
So just keep shooting your shot, man. You never know.
Yeah.
Because the guy is, now his videos like in 8 million views. Kenyans and whatever are getting onto that challenge and whatever. So that was a very heartwarming story from UG this week.
This is what happens when you take a break from Twitter. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I've been
true.
off for a bit, and I haven't
I'm
heard
fighting the urge to be off. It's like my hands are glued to the phone.
to the.
Because now my work transcends into social media. I cannot not be online. It's exhausting. But I'm
Yeah.
going to pick a day and just disappear.
Well, so that brought your spirits back up. Thanks. What's his name?
Hozambe.
The guy is called something else, but the song was.
No, I think the artist is Hozambe. His
Yeah,
name is
okay.
Hozambe,
Yeah.
All right, you gotta thank him.
Not the
Big
chick.
up.
Not the lady in
Shout
Kenya
out to
who's
Hozambe.
dressing like her husband and singing his songs.
Yeah, I've seen
Apparently,
that.
the husband decided to change his outfit, so she went to a tailor. Now they're tailoring his new wardrobe for her.
Are they okay?
No, they're not. The guy cheated, I think, and left her
Oh, okay.
after he blew up or something.
Oh
So
my
now she
goodness.
dresses like him and sings his song.
Yo, listen. In this life,
That's the level of petty I aspire to.
my goodness, you have to be really careful who you associate yourself with, because imagine people are crazy.
That's a very good point, by the way.
Yeah. You have to tread carefully because
Your whole
now,
life just upended like that because someone just can't leave you alone.
Yeah.
True.
Why did he
Anyways,
leave her alone? Why did he hurt her feelings?
on both sides.
No, there are not both sides. I feel like as if guys do things and they don't believe that women will get back at them. Osman, how was
Man,
your week?
Oswan, I hope I never see you in a dress trying to be in those shoes.
No.
And there are so many ways you can look like a lady nowadays. I love it.
Uh,
How was your week? How was your week?
My week was okay.
Yeah?
But as you know, I usually play football in my free time. So yesterday, you man, I was a hat-trick hero.
You were
I
what?
scored 3.
Oswan shall need evidence to corroborate
Now,
this.
unfortunately, we don't have a videographer. Our club is not big enough to have a videographer. But
It's
I would
okay. You all have mobile phones, no?
Where's this evidence?
I will provide it at a later date.
Okay.
But yeah, that was the highlight of my week, really. It was a grudge
Yeah,
match.
hat-trick
That
hero.
a lot of bragging rights were at stake. And I settled the score by scoring an emphatic hat-trick.
So you can keep talking about this until the next game.
I know nothing about soccer, so.
Okay, but so whatever I tell you, you have to believe.
Otherwise,
A hat-trick means 3 goals.
yeah, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm so happy because I have been learning how to swim
Wow.
properly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
At 6 a.m. in the morning.
Bro, like,
I used to think that I could do the morning, and I started off with the morning lessons,
Okay.
but then it actually takes up a lot of my day going swimming after I shower there at the pool. By the time I come back, it's just like my day's done. So now I just use it as a lunch break. I'll go and I'll swim quick, and then come back and continue about my business. But yeah, I'm getting so much better. I'm so happy. It's a life skill. I think. Do y'all know how to swim?
Yeah. I do.
the shallow end, yes.
Do you feel like you're living outside the matrix now? How does it feel?
I feel like I am way more comfortable now in water. Like I know what to
Just
do.
you bring up this swimming, because remember last time we were in Ginger and guys went water rafting.
Yes.
And they were saying, actually, knowing how to swim in a swimming pool is not
Oh, it's
equal.
not the same. Right. To
Swimming against the
in
wave.
to
Swimming against the tide.
rafting,
Yeah. Like
Yes.
Like something entirely.
Even when you swim in a lake, it's a totally different experience. From
Why
the
are you
pool.
swimming in lakes?
It sounds like an experience as well.
Jesus.
Yeah, but anyway.
So I gotta crawl before I can walk, right? So let me just start learning in a safe environment, and then we'll see where it takes me.
Yep, true.
I'm just glad to know. It's all about your relationship with water, because even back to that weekend in Ginger, so many people were talking about having a phobia for water, and I think even within the Black community in general, a lot of
picture
people.
going viral about black pool parties. Everyone
Everyone's
is
around the pool.
There's
No one is
literally
getting in.
the pool is free. It's the only thing you can
The black
see.
people ordinarily don't not know how to
Blue
swim.
and black people. All the
And,
way
I mean,
up, yeah.
there's a lot of history and context there, but I think it's also on the other side. If you go to West Africa, I'm sure East Africa too, but I'm speaking from my experience. You go to like Senegal, you'll see. Y'all have probably seen those videos of the boys jumping off like
Yeah.
the cliff, flipping, doing all those things.
Yeah.
But Black people know how to swim,
Exactly.
but the overall narrative is that they don't know.
Maybe
right?
black people in the Western world don't know how to swim.
Maybe,
That's
but
not true. Anyway.
if I talk about, again, literally just an hour and a half away, I went on a weekend trip with Ugandans, and they're like, they have a phobia for water. They don't want to get into water, right? So it's like, let's get into that. Where did this come from, right? But being comfortable with water, it's a life skill. Knowing how to swim, I should say. And I encourage everybody to learn if you don't know. That's how my week was. Now I'm preaching to y'all. Preaching at the religion of, what is it?
Water.
But there's a water person though. I'll get the name by the end of this episode. Trust me.
That does what?
So there was a theory, right? I think we're all bored. And since there's no more Illuminati, we want someone to blame for people's success. But
There's no more Illuminati?
that's what we believe. You don't see the jokes as much as we used to back then. But Thames and Tyler, their current albums both have something to do with water.
So people are bringing the juju in now.
Now there's a water babe.
It's what's her name? Yemaya or something like that.
You know what's hilarious about?
But the Beyoncés and the Solanges have like always been accused of
Being Illuminati.
Some sort of
singing. Like, how can I say, when you channel Yemaya and those like Yoruba.
Even our own Jose Chameleon.
We used to put boiled eggs in Miami Beach.
First they said that
Eggs. What did you say?
in Uganda, the word they use is he went to the water. They say
Oh yeah.
to mean that
And this is
it's the equivalent of Illuminati here.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful way for us to go into our topic today, man. Religion.
Yeah.
Religion and the
Is
way
it
that
the
we
same
see
as
it.
spirituality?
Actually, I have a very good story for you guys based
Go
on
ahead.
that is related to that going to the water thing.
Okay.
We're listening.
Around in the early 2000s, that's when the craze was mad. People, so
For
much
Illuminati?
Illuminati and going to the water.
Oh, okay,
Because
okay.
the attribute, the idea was
Actually, that's so interesting because honestly, in the West, I never heard that whole going to the water thing. It was always
really?
Illuminati.
now
right?
here the national paper New Vision once drew steps to follow when you want to go to the water, like according
Triple six.
Wow.
yeah, that you go drop 6 eggs in the lake at a certain word.
Boiled or raw?
Well, they didn't specify. They didn't specify, but the
Are
star,
they for hens even?
but there was one man who was the star of all this entire narrative.
no,
His name was Roger Mugisha. I don't know if
Yeah.
Even
Shadow
Josie
Angels.
talking about
Where
his
is he
story.
today?
yes, he was called
His story is
Shadow.
on the internet somewhere.
He's an actor now.
He went by Shadow. So Shadow, by then, the stories were crazy. I remember one of his dancers, Shadow's Angels, came to our school and told us stories, crazy, scary stories you can tell to young kids of 14 years.
I'm telling
She
you.
told us that she had met Satan. In fact, that he was a very handsome man, that he wasn't as ugly, he wasn't an ugly red guy with horns. So it terrified us. She left and I was terrified. I imagined we were living among them because she said they're recruiting in schools. Be careful. That was really
But it was a
terrifying.
national craze. I remember because even our parents were so worked up
Yes.
about certain designs on your shirts,
Uh-huh.
how your
Oh my
buttons
goodness,
look
yes,
like.
yes.
That's so crazy, man.
Any armbands you had, you were accused of. So long
many
story
things.
short, several years later, around 2020, I went to Bulago Island on a boat party.
Manji.
And while on the boat party, the MC of that party was none other than Shadow himself.
Oh my
And you're
goodness.
underwater.
Yes, and we were on the water. But of course, now I was older and I had since discovered that these are bullshit stories. But I still wanted to ask the man himself. I wanted to talk to him and ask him. So I didn't get a chance throughout the day. But as we were coming back at around 3 a.m. in the morning, we were coming back from Bulago Island.
You know
back-
that's when that stuff happens. A lot
exactly.
of the spirituality.
So
you
I
gotta
go
tap
back
in.
to the lower deck to get what? To get beer. And I meet him there. He has also come to get some beer. So I strike up a conversation. Hey, Roger, what's up? And the man, I ask him the one question that has been on my mind. Was it true that this certain guy that you guys were engaging on a one-on-one? And he laughed for like 3 minutes.
Oh no.
And his laughter told me everything I needed to know. These guys were just hustlers. This was
Listen. That makes me think of a phrase that Karane loves to say. One day he also wants to figure out how to sell hope to people, because it seems to be
it's
Because look at
lucrative.
the pastors. Did you see
That's how people
Batoto's
have done
new
it.
their GDP?
right. That yo. But before we get into those details, let's go back a bit. I want to understand a bit more about all of y'all, because we know each other, but I don't know if I really know y'all that well, right? So tell me a bit about your relationship with religion. Give me a brief background. Agatha, we can start with you. What has your relationship with religion been like?
If you're not ready by 8, Daddy has left you.
That's so similar, you guy.
I'm getting out and I'm going to close my house.
But then you're in trouble for being left.
Exactly. So I learned how to
I live at
moisturize in the car.
And being left wasn't an option, by
And
the
I
way.
had my
Right.
dresses the night before.
Because if you're
and
left, you
I
have to
take so
explain
long in
why.
the bathroom, so all my cousins would be like, you guys let Agatha go first. Then the rest of us shower in pairs. My God, what
Yeah.
a time. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm born and raised staunch Catholic, actually. I went to only Catholic
I
schools.
can relate, right?
Of course, I had a very hard time. I hope Sister Matron from Bishop Cipriano is okay, because
Is that genuine?
babe, that chick was so sick of me. She named the hostel Saint Agatha so that I could see that I'm actually a saint. She couldn't fathom why I behaved that way. I was such an outcast that even when I was always so curious, because with Catholicism, there's a lot of kneeling, standing, and dead silence. So me sometimes I'd open my eyes just because I couldn't understand. I think my relationship with religion is just from a curious standpoint. To a point where I've actually thought of being a Hajjat for like a year because Hajj is a venture capitalist, but because
isn't because of a man?
No, period. Not even because of a man. I'm just curious to know but with Catholic, like
So you're curious to start at a young age?
Indeed.
That's interesting.
Because in our home, you have to do all the 3 steps. So, Catholics have like First Holy Communion, confirmation, final commitment. There is matrimony. There is that anointment thing.
Penance.
Then there's that anointment. I think the last one is when you die. There's something that they do.
Anointing of
for you. I think it's anointing of the dead. It's the last one. There's another one. Holy matrimony. Did I count that? There are about 7 steps.
Matrimony, I think, is marriage.
So, so the first one is baptism.
Yeah.
So there are like 7 steps in your life frame, right? And they're also so organized, and they're also so judgmental of Pentecostals. And like my dad would just be with your noise, like he cannot fathom. My sister was going to Chiveho recently, and one of my dad's prayer requests was that I come back to Catholicism like my brother.
Wow.
Something is probably wrong with me, but they still love me regardless. So that has been really my mindset. So, but as I got older, and with the more friends that I made, because a lot of people nowadays are Pentecostal or, they have a more spiritual approach to religion and faith. They have a personal relationship with God.
Okay, why are you saying like that?
Do you feel attacked?
I've literally said those exact words.
Yes, but also because for us in Catholicism, you only get to God through the priests, and that's why there's like the confessions. Yes. During Easter and stuff, you speak to the guy through the box.
So you used to go and tell that priest.
Oh yeah, you have to tell him each and everything you did. Yeah, if not, you won't feel. And it's also there's a lot of guilt.
Were you speaking genuinely? Were you telling him your real sins?
When I was younger, yeah.
Okay.
I'd talk about like stealing and stuff.
Okay.
Relatable content. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, lovely. So you're coming from this kind of like Catholic background, but also a curious, even as a youth, like curiosity, even as a young person. That's quite interesting because I feel as if a lot of people, well, maybe I can't speak for people, but typically there isn't necessarily that curiosity for outside of the religion or the faith, right? Karane, what about you?
So it's quite similar to Agatha's because I've grown up from a very devout Anglican family.
Mm-hmm.
And, like my grandfather was a reverend, and they were the first guys to do this whole, I don't know the name they gave it, evangelical thing, but it was the more sort of charismatic version of the Anglican Church at that time.
Is it the Abazukufu?
Yes, so something like that. So, we'd find like every Wednesday, every Thursday. So we lived like 5 houses in one compound. So like a communal fellowship in one of those days in the week. But also my mom served in church like my whole life. I've known her. She has been serving in church. So she was either a warden or she was those people remaining behind to count money, or you find her on a rota, weekly rota for like preaching, fellowships and whatever. But also you couldn't go to bed to sleep before you talk to the Lord. That is unheard of. So yeah, personally, and you know what Agatha was talking about later on in life, my father also got more devout. So we also faced those things. If I step out of the gate, no one should follow me. So yeah, church on Sunday was also compulsory. It's something you never had to question anything. You just had to be there.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of background I brought up. So I'll really grown up from the Anglican Christian background. Very devout.
Is there a certain way y'all had to dress to go to church on?
Sunday best? What do you mean?
What is Sunday best for Uganda?
Yeah, those clothes you only put on
Me and
Sunday.
my sister had
It was
the
a fashion
matching
show.
dresses.
It was a fashion show.
Oh my God, did you forget to say that? We under hats.
Oh, y'all also had hats?
Yeah, I grew up in the era of hats.
So much so
and
that
body
you
socks.
were looking forward to seeing what other
My
kids are wearing.
friend.
Right. Oh my goodness. You didn't want to be embarrassed on
You
Sunday.
could not.
That is deeper than what I thought. But
And
yeah.
the cool bar was on fire because me, I'd get to church like so and branch out to the people selling things on the side. Just knocking. My offertory, I never gave it. No, never had time to.
I love how Sunday best is how it's, I don't want to just say it's universal, but like within the Black culture,
Oh yeah.
right? Because in America, like the people show up and show out.
Mm-hmm.
Going to church is to, like you said, it's a fashion show. On top of so many other things. Oswan, what's your relationship with religion?
Not too different from my colleagues here. Very religious parents, extremely religious. Even schools, it was compulsory to go to church. But along the way, of course, I grew up and realized some of these things may be a bit not 100% true. And I remember that when I was growing up, I was really encouraged to read only the Bible. I found that a bit curious. Like many preachers actually said that other books are secular. And they discouraged you from reading other books. But
Oh, you mean of any book? Any other book?
Yes, you are told that actually
The
the
only
only
form of
book that
literature.
you needed to read every day was the Bible. Yeah, and I think for me, my turning point was when I went against that teaching. I said, no, I'll read others too, and I see what is there. And it was when I started reading others that I realized, because unlike Agatha, who started questioning at a young age, for me at a young age, I believed entirely.
Yeah.
I believed that there's a bearded white man in the sky watching my every move, and that
And why was he always white?
I guess because the idea, his son was white. Anyway, long story short, I came to read some of his books that were about the religion, and they painted me a different picture. I realized, for instance, that popes were not entirely holy people. Because as a Catholic, I had grown up thinking that the Pope was the closest person to God, that this guy was almost not human. But what I read in the other history books was totally different. I read about Pope Alexander, a warmonger, who had his son was Cesare Borgia. His son was a very brutal enforcer. He was the commander of his armies. And he was the one
But
who...
they can't have kids.
Oh, exactly.
Meanwhile, you're
I'm just here like, hold on.
I feel like Oswan has taken us far ahead into this conversation.
And I'm just like, where
Oh,
does the child come from?
Maybe I should skip that for later.
So no problem. So basically for you, it's this idea of there was heavy belief
Yeah.
until one day you came across a book. How did you even come across these books that kind of opened your world a bit more?
How did I come across them?
Yeah.
My father was an ardent reader. He had a book, a room full of books.
So these priests are telling the whole family only read the Bible, but your father already has like a whole library.
Yeah. Yeah. He's also a very staunch Catholic, but I don't know how he balances it. But he reads a lot. And I can see that there are days when I see that maybe he sees that the thing is not entirely. But I think but you'll realize that many Africans are like that too. Many Africans, very educated Africans, professors.
Right.
Yeah, and are still deeply devout. Yeah, so I don't know how they make peace with it.
Anyways, maybe this is a conversation for later, but I was going to ask, should it be mutually exclusive?
What do you mean?
Do you think that the more quote unquote education you get,
The less.
the further from
Most definitely.
religion
For
or
me, that's what
belief?
has pushed me further away from religion. It has brought me to realize.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, but I'll tell my story.
Okay.
When you give me a chance, I'll tell you the story.
We're gonna get to present day, but before we get there, I want to add a bit more context in terms of just like culturally,
Yeah.
because actually, let me share what my relationship is. I realized I didn't share because none of y'all are asking me questions, but
You're the examiner right
The one
now.
examining us. Who has
but
that ice?
Ashwan, don't get excited and start speaking it. So my relationship with religion is like what Agatha said. Nowadays, I'm somebody who says that I have that personal relationship with God through Jesus, right? But that's present day. We can get into that a bit later. I was raised, as we say, in the church. So I grew up going to church weekly, and I guess I was raised Protestant, as y'all would say. I'm not somebody who fully believes in those like differentiations between like Catholics and Protestants, because
So what church were you going to?
they're all Christian. So that's why for me I say I'm a
Pentecostal,
Christian.
probably.
We started off at a Pentecostal church, and then we ended up in a non-denominational church. So,
That is foreign to us. What is that?
Never heard of that.
and yeah,
Embarrass me.
You must align. What do you mean? Are you on the fence?
So I think it's just a matter of just being more open, because you understand that these denominations, some people call them sects, differences, whatever, right? Divergences. At the end of the day, you're still under the large umbrella of Christianity, right? So whether you, and they differ slightly. There definitely are some that differ a lot. And, even within, I guess, the Christian umbrella, we look at it as like, are you still, what's going on here? But overall, for me anyways, I'm just like, y'all have slight differences. And as long as the foundation is still the same, it makes sense, you're a Christian to me. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's where I stand for now. My mom, I think both my parents were probably raised Catholic. my mom she's still adheres to a lot of like the Catholic stuff, I guess. But my dad is the one who kind of transitioned us into Protestant,
Anglican.
as like
And also-
who transitioned us into Protestants.
Can you believe that I used to think Anglican and Protestant are two different?
Oh.
And I know it's not just me. So
I like,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of confusion around religion because
Yeah.
there's a lot of ignorance around
I
it.
think it goes into the story of how the Anglican Church started.
Right.
Yeah, and I suspect many Anglicans are not too familiar with the story.
of King Henry
Yes, King Henry. But you know, it was a power struggle really between Henry and...
and the France. And the
No,
French.
and the Pope. It was Pope Clement. Back then, if you wanted to divorce, he was married to Princess Catherine of Spain. And but Catherine was the wife of his late brother. But the idea was, because you know those days marriages were about alliances.
Spanish princess.
Yeah, so he had to inherit the wife. And so when he did, I think he didn't really like her.
She lied about being a virgin.
Oh yes, he
And then she
said...
already slept with the boy's brother.
Wasn't she a wife? What do they mean? If you're already a wife,
No, the culture was...
She denied if she was a virgin, if she
Then
wasn't
she
a
was
virgin,
already
she
his-
was going to just be a princess dowager.
Yeah, she
and
said
he'd get
the
his own
marriage
wife,
had
but
not
she
been
lied.
consummated. Yeah.
But also he had a crush on
how
her.
did he know
something.
that she lied?
Oh,
It's a certain show called Spanish Princess, man. So
No, the
his
reality
mom-
is
his
the man was
mom
in love with
knew,
another babe. He was in love with Anne
and she
Boleyn.
wasn't having sons.
Yeah.
He was in love with Anne Boleyn and he wanted to marry her. So he had to request the Pope for permission to
Boleyn
divorce.
experience was so bad.
And the
This
Pope
is a
the Pope
story
declined
of the
3
Boleyn
times.
sisters.
And I think King Henry, on the advice of the Archbishop of Canterbury, decided to dismiss the Pope, showed him contempt now. Said, if I'm a king, you can't tell me not to do what I want. And so the Archbishop of Canterbury set up a new church. Then they went about decatholicizing the UK.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if it's the right time to mention this, but also, I don't know, maybe we shall discuss later, but also the way the church or religion is also tied to the hip of politics, you know? They move together. They are two peas in a pod.
We'll get into that into present day.
Oh, yeah.
French Revolution.
Actually, I think
Yeah.
the religious leaders are more political
Has the
than...
church really separated from the state?
No, absolutely not.
They work together. They are twins.
But before we get into what y'all are currently thinking, I want to talk about the cultural observations. As Ugandans, you know, what is it like here when it comes to faith, belief, religion as a whole? I know when I first arrived, like way back when, and Agatha always teases me for this, but
No, let Agatha tell the story.
oh my
What was that day
goodness.
like you?
We'd
The
like
first
to
day she
believe
went
that
to
it
church.
might
Let me
more
just say
accurate.
my perspective,
Okay,
and
please.
Agatha
Okay,
will
we'll
say
hear her
hers.
perspective too.
Okay. Completely unrelated. I remember when I first came, I was very much like the impression that I had of Africa, let's say, right? And the way that, you know, y'all are very believing, but there's also y'all got some pep in your step, right? You go to church, it's lively, maybe not the Catholic church, but even the Catholic churches, depending on the one you go to, they're lively. Like people are singing, they're clapping, they're praising God. They're having like a good time. And so I came with the understanding that like I would be going to church on Sunday. I'll find like maybe a community here since I'm here for the summer and we'll see what happens, right? Well,
And you fought Agatha.
First of all, we were tired. It was like a Sunday morning, bro. We had come on Saturday. I find this babe fully dressed, looking for where to spread her towel, I think. I ask her where you go. She said, oh, I'm going to Watoto. I said,
Watoto was the only church that was recommended to us.
It was only
And,
one.
and I'm not a big fan of like the
Is it because
Watotos.
it's run by a white man?
Yeah, it's just this idea of it's just the present, the way that a lot of the evangelical churches in this day and age are run.
They're like
It's
a
for
modern
some
church.
people, but it's not what I'm looking for, right?
But it's a church I was telling you guys earlier that their GDP
Yes.
published recently. What's it called? What's the actual word? Is it their financial statement or
No, they're
their audited?
No, but I
books?
know that they touch big money.
Oh, and they
were talking in millions of
like
dollars.
9B.
Yeah.
I say, wow, you guys are doing well. How is the account
Actually,
office?
on the day when they have something called a miracle offering,
Yeah.
the money is taken away by a bullion van.
By what?
a
Bullion van.
bullion.
Like the money is so much that the guys can't just carry it in sacks and take it to the
Bambi.
church.
But
They
I'm
have to
glad
go-
that they can thank God to that extent.
But also, these are not really new things. I feel like
Yeah.
this is how the
That's in
system
our-
works.
it's the order of the day.
Stuff?
Actually,
I feel like the LC at your LC1, your village level, your Catholic church, the money it gives someone which reaches Rome.
a small bit
Part
of
of
it.
it will reach Rome. So I feel like this is systematic. This has been the case.
Yeah.
A lot of us are, one of my cultural observations also is here is like religion is often tied to a tribe as well.
Oh.
It's interesting, but every time I meet like a Muslim lawman, I'm just like, well,
It's extremely
how did
rare.
you get here? It's so new.
I don't know a Muslim from Karane's tribe.
Thank you. But they're there.
But I know that they're there. I
It's-
actually know
but
the
that's
history.
not
There's
you
an interesting
find
history of
Muslims are
religion
like
in
Baganda
Western
and most of
Uganda.
them are in like massacre and they're like, you know, it's so rare. I could be wrong.
But you know also that the religious wars that happened in Uganda, whatever, they threw
out
some people around. Like,
Yeah.
see, like, where does this guy come from?
Mwanga, who's the
Yeah, Mwanga
Matters?
Chivumbi.
Mwanga Chivumbi Muhammad, yeah.
It comes from Butambala. So Butambala, you find like very many Muslims.
And also very many Catholics.
Yeah, not very many Catholics, but Masaka has Catholics.
Catholics, Vida Maria.
But also, I think it was a function of they had so many religious wars also when the different religions were fighting for power within Uganda.
Oh, so that's how they then.
Political
that's how they are
parties
scattered also.
were tied to certain religions.
Yeah.
I remember DP was Catholic.
That's true.
Then UPC was Protestant.
Are you seeing?
And then
must
Idi
be
Amin was
like
entirely
that.
Muslim.
Oh,
Even
yes.
Rwanda, it's also a function of like the leadership then because Rwanda first got Belgium, which I think are Catholics,
Yeah, the Belgians are Catholic.
Belgians and French. So you find in Rwanda, it's also very hard to find someone who's Anglican or Muslim.
Yeah.
It's because culturally and historically, they are colonized by what? The
By
French
Catholics.
who are...
So it's also a part of colonialism. And
Yeah, but
whatnot.
all this now goes to show really there's no difference between the religion and the state.
I mean,
Wow.
I guess if you want to use that as your evidence. But y'all, I want to understand what it's like going to I guess y'all can't speak much on what it's like being a Muslim because none of y'all are Muslims. We got Birthday Baker, but
I've been to a Muslim school.
you've been with
all I know
I've
is
been to a
that.
Muslim
Yeah,
school.
actually, this one I've been
Muslim
on.
schools.
Which ones?
Chivoli. I was at Chivoli.
Okay.
Why?
I guess it was doing well academically. That's why my parents took me there.
Yeah.
For them, I think in as much as they were Catholics, it didn't matter that.
Right.
For them, all they wanted was a school that could excel. Although I was only there 3 years, but I
What
got to
happened in that fourth
experience life as a Muslim student or life in a Muslim school, waking up at 5 a.m. for prayers and stuff like that. It was
Yeah.
optional for non-Muslims.
Right.
But I could see my Muslim colleagues, and I could see some of them also were not too eager to pray. Like many of them actually claimed to be Christian. The guy would tell me, "Man, when the sheikh comes, introduce me as Brian."
Brad.
Like a non-Muslim name.
What's up with these Brad, Ben? What's
Yeah.
up with these names that people like to use?
They're
these
the closest.
white man names.
Yeah, I think but in that context, being called Brian implied you're not a Muslim. Yeah. And for them again, their enforcement was a bit more intense than
they'll
the
send you
others.
home?
For instance, if you failed to show up for prayers, you were given about 40 strokes of the cane. So it was very serious. Yeah, it was very serious.
And there are 5 prayers a day.
5.
So if you missed
If
one,
you missed one, okay, if you were discovered missing, because of course many people missed and were not discovered. But if you were discovered missing, you were beaten.
well,
And then I remember one shocking experience. I used to attend what they call Darasa. Darasa is like
a school?
No. Darasa is like Muslim teaching. You go, they teach you like how the Catholics have Mujiji. Now Darasa is the equivalent. And one day I attended, and the guy who taught us, I perhaps would rather not mention his name, but the sheikh who taught us was a Ugandan sheikh, and the guy was showing us beheading videos,
Excuse me?
and he was talking about that these are the consequences of turning on your faith. You get? He said, if you turn on your faith, this is what happens to you. These are videos from like the Arab world. But I could tell that his belief system, as an individual, because I didn't hear it from other sheikhs, but for him as an individual, his belief system was along those extreme lines. Yeah.
yeah. But honestly, within each religion, you'll find the people who are very
Yeah.
extreme like that. But that's not representative of
Anyway, let me not say that, but
their realities.
even the Almighty was very... That's why his preferred methods.
Of course. That's not like against the Abrahamic God. It's not against his teachings. Because you will read in the 2 books, the Quran and the Bible, they will indicate that wiping out entire populations is not something new to them. Or vengeful justice. It was a common thing for God to do. So it's not too surprising. These extremists might actually be the true religious people.
So what about your cultural observations? Like, I think one of the things that I've noticed here is any day of the week, but particularly closer to the end of the week, starting maybe Thursday night, you can hear the church down the street
Yeah.
while you're still inside your house.
Yo, I have a neighboring church. I don't know where you guys get middle of the week from. Like every day, non-stop. No one is stopping reggae.
When you're house hunting, you should go during the day.
Yeah, and find out is there a church? Is there a church
What the
around?
neighborhood is.
Yeah, but if you're talking about the culture, for example, for devout Pentecostals, you find the guy has what do they call them, overnights,
Oh yeah, like a vigil.
like every week. Yeah,
Yeah.
a vigil.
Think overnight is like the
Where would you
vigil.
compare to a vigil?
Imagine, right, of all things.
No, it's not a vigil, but like overnight thing.
The same
Overnight
prayers,
themed.
but they just go throughout the night.
Overnight.
Yes.
But then you find like there are fellowships. Now there's a culture around Pentecostals in Uganda where fellowships are now bigger than churches.
Oh.
So you have like a Monday fellowship presided over by an apostle. And for him, his day is Monday. It's not Sunday. Like, so that guys on Tuesday, this is when my fellowship is Zoe or whatever they call it. And for us, we meet every Wednesday. Some have been, but they're heavily embraced. You find a guy filling a stadium. You find thousands of people congregating every week. So we even moved away from the fact that, for example, Christians, because that's what I understand best, but they moved away from praying just on Sundays. It's now an everyday thing. So for my church, I can hear sometimes when I come, like you try to get out of office early, like at 6 p.m., take a nap. You find they have choir practice. That day they have choir practice.
In your nap.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear the angelic voices
Yeah.
of
Guiding
people
you through.
singing.
But I feel, so from talking from my parents' perspective, because I've seen my mom. My mom is really, really active in church. She has been like a Mothers Union leader for like last 100 years. But they have those sessions where now they talk to only women. Mothers Union, Fathers Union. How do you handle your husband?
Lord.
Even Fanero this Saturday has
My
what's it
great
called?
praise.
My Great Prize. So it's just about women, like, talking to women.
Trying to find like
Yeah.
husbands or something.
No. Wait, it's one of
To
them.
nurture women.
I think that's
God-led
one
women.
of the priorities. But
And also, yeah, right?
yeah,
Actually, that's why I stopped going to church, and it's been almost 8 months. But
because you couldn't find a husband.
not because I couldn't find a husband, but his marriage advice was so focused on women, and it felt
yeah.
impractical to me.
Yeah.
And there's a story he would reiterate so many times that I have it in my mind. This woman waited for her husband for 20 years, just praying to God to return for 20 years. You're gone 2 weeks, and I have a new surname. Are you serious? How can you live your life like that?
I guess there are certain things that are similar across borders because
Honestly.
even back home, this is the case. This is like a lot of the things
Yeah.
that people are struggling with. Like you go to church and it's with the purpose of finding XYZ.
Exactly.
But I think something that I find interesting that y'all may not know is also when you keep bringing in the history, which is quite relevant. Because when you think about Quebec and Quebec's history and Quebec's relationship with the church, it's not cute. It's not pretty. I think that's everybody's, honestly, everybody's relationship
Yeah.
with the church when you think about like when they first came and what that was like. But today, a lot of Quebecers, they use like certain Catholic artifacts as like their own cuss words. Like they use it to swear. So an example is like, do you know the chalice? The chalice is a thing that the priest drinks from, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the swear word for that is calice. So they're so far removed from anything related to like the Catholic Church or religion that for them it's become a culturally it's more so looked down upon, and we use it as like something to just say, I'm so disgusted. It's so abhorrent. Like this is ridiculous. So another one is a tabernacle, right? But they say tabernacle. If you hear a Quebecois say tabernacle, know that they are not happy. Know that they may even be
So
pissed
what's the
off.
relationship between those
Is this
two?
because they hate religion? Do they dislike
No,
it?
but
Is
also
there a
like,
strong
why they use
difference?
those particular words? I feel like
Because it was the Catholic Church. It was the Catholic Church that was based there, right? And that they have quote unquote strayed from. I can't find like a different word to use it, but it's not their belief system.
They don't like
anymore.
it anymore.
Yeah, right. I feel like even though we have so many churches, you'll find, and like how the Catholic churches are, they're so grand, they're quite beautiful actually, right? Even if you go to Europe and you go to
That
some
is
of
true.
those,
The
they're
ones
so
in
beautiful.
Italy and all.
But yeah, but
Cathedral.
now we use it as like business buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
They've a lot of them are being how can I say
What in the
transferred?
blasphemy?
No. it's I don't think it's so much blasphemous as what are you supposed to do with these buildings now? People are not going there for church.
So people like you want to tell me that in Quebec, the Catholic Church is empty, and they don't have mass from 6 a.m. to 4
The
p.m.
majority of them.
It's not one
God.
Catholic church. There are a lot of churches, right? There are definitely still a lot of Catholics. Are they Quebecois? Maybe a handful, right? But we also have a lot of immigrants, right? A lot of African immigrants who
Are the ones
migrated.
keeping them alive.
And Caribbean.
So the
and
people
stuff like
from
that.
Quebec
So
are called
what I'm
Quebecois.
gathering is it's
Well, yeah.
Africans keeping
Interesting.
religion alive in the world.
Pardon?
It's Africans keeping religion alive.
The immigrants.
Yeah, largely.
Not
largely.
because no immigrants. Yes,
They're
but
not
they're also
carrying it.
African. Exactly. So it must be us.
Specifically, I can only speak for Quebec, right? Because that's where I'm based.
So when God sends a flood now, Africa will just be shining. You know.
So we
I don't know which floods
we
you're
have all
talking
these
about.
churches.
But we
like,
now
you'll
know
find
the real source of floods.
you'll find a church like on every block, but the amount of people who actually go or who really believe, I think the other thing is like people believe on the surface level, but do they
don't dip
practice
into it.
is a different question.
Because you know how hard. Like, do you think tithing is easy?
Yeah, but I think one thing we also didn't talk about,
Yeah.
like Ghanaian version of events, is that
Yeah, it has
there's so much begging in the
money.
church. Like,
Yeah.
okay, not
Begging.
begging. Okay, begging is the wrong
It
word.
is a business.
Fundraising. Okay, can call it fundraising.
Yeah, but for me, I think that is the main thing.
But I feel like, man, you can't attend church if you're poor. Like,
There was even an
or they will suck
advertisement.
the last coin out of you.
There was an
Because
advertisement
there's,
for a pastor on
there's
LinkedIn.
something
That's
very
when I knew.
urgent to contribute to that area, that service or whatever. Guys are fundraising to do something.
Did you hear
do
Pastor
something.
Bujingo recently telling guys that, please, if you have come with 10,000, you stay seated. We want to deal with people who have come with real money now.
Yeah, that was.
and that's so unfortunate.
Well,
Like that
It
that's
has come to
that's
that
not the
now.
point and purpose of choice.
Josie.
That's not the point and
You see
purpose
how
of
going to
church.
Gulu is.
idea. On paper, that is not the point. But
Perry.
I think in reality, that is the point.
What'd you say?
On paper, that may not be the point. But I think the primary motivation of any pastor starting a church, at least in Kampala today,
Yes, it's become
it
a
is to make
business.
some money.
It has become a business, but I think its original purpose was community.
So it's
What?
the pastors have such nice suits. What's the purpose? Sorry.
Part of, I think
That's
I'm
also the
so
culture.
sorry.
That's
I'm
also
so
the
sorry. We are
culture.
stray.
But you know, the
That's
pastors,
the culture attribute. The way they
Yes,
dress, man.
yeah, because the pastors.
Their
I
fashion
have
sense
never
is
forgotten.
crazy.
I don't even know why this conversation came up. Remember Mike Todd last year? The whole spitting thing.
Oh my goodness!
What
I'm
a
sure y'all
stylistic
didn't see
frame.
it.
Gladly.
They didn't
Josie
see
would
it.
wake up in the morning to give me Twitter news. That's how I knew Will Smith was slapped.
No, that's when I was here. That's what I was.
Yeah, you
when I was
were
here
here. So
last
the
time.
Michael Todd when you were here as well.
No, that wasn't when I was
Are
here.
you sure?
I don't think so.
I don't know, man, but
Maybe.
I know that I spoke to you about it.
Yeah, no,
I
a lot of
couldn't
the, a lot. That's also there's a new culture where it's like post COVID, the online churches have grown.
Yeah,
or
true.
like people, it's physical churches, but their online presence back to that has grown significantly.
Yeah.
That's why we have Momo and Airtel Pay. Okay,
oh, by the way, these
they are
days,
putting contacts across
I have
the
never seen
screen.
a single
I don't think
preacher
you
online
understand.
that didn't have
Yeah, don't
a
think that because you're
payment
attending
code.
online, you won't be
That's what I
cashing
just said. I
it.
needed that to be known because what?
Interesting.
Online or offline, your accounts must open, your wallets must
Yeah,
open.
yeah. Churches and religions, I should say, have become a business, which is it's unfortunate.
More than a
honestly.
business, a cult.
Not all of
Did
them.
you guys?
But I think I've always
hold on,
been
let me
cults,
paint you a
but-
picture. Did you guys read the story of TB Joshua?
Yeah.
Him
There was a
being
documentary. There was a
Alleged. Listen, I am not a TV Joshua fan.
But you've
all
seen the
I'm saying
documentary?
is-
Did you see the documentary?
I didn't watch the documentary. I heard of it.
Please
My
cut this
God.
out. I don't want to be an accomplice.
there's a number of victims.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was locking up women in the basement of his church. He had like cells
Yeah.
for them. Well, it was crazy.
To do what?
Was he a
He
pastor
was
or
having
what?
sex with them.
Yeah. Like a huge.
He was one of the
huge
biggest.
pastor,
Like those guys with private jets. It was that big. He was being watched in every household.
Nigerian
Imagine,
prosperity
he's a Nigerian
church.
guy, but in Uganda here, he has massive followers.
Yeah.
But TB Joshua was crazy. And meanwhile, he was at the center of some controversy a few years ago. There was a story involving the former president of Malawi. I don't know if you guys heard it.
Yeah.
He was Bingu wa Mutharika. Like one day, TB Joshua prophesied that Bingu wa Mutharika would die soon if he didn't come to him for prayers because God had showed him a vision of something crazy going to happen to the good president. And of course, Bingu wa Mutharika did not come. And 3 months later, unfortunately or unfortunately, Bengu wa Mutharika dies. So the followers,
what?
well, I think it was a plane crash or something. It was something crazy. But the man died. When the man died, now, of course, the followers of TB Joshua said, you see, oh man, we've been telling you these things. But some of us who are more skeptical thought that maybe he was part of a plot to finish off the man. Maybe he knew about it. He knew the man was about to be finished off. But anyway, for me, I don't think that was proof of his what? Of his supernatural powers. But
When he died of COVID, it was so bad for that business.
Yeah. Because now how do you tell us that the healer could not heal himself?
Yeah, people use the name of religion to do a lot of different things with it, and it is what it is. But let's bring this back to our personal kind of present day opinions or experiences, how we move about, how we navigate Uganda with our own beliefs, let's say, right? I know when I came back this time around, again, I was looking for a church.
Praise him.
But I'm also cognizant of the fact that like I'm not going to go to just any church, right? And it's been kind of difficult. I've heard a lot of people say Phaneroo, but I liken Phaneroo to a lot of these like evangelical
I have
churches.
one to take to you.
Pardon?
I have one I can take you to very soon.
I don't know.
As soon as tomorrow.
I'm scared. Yeah, so no, I think it's been kind of difficult simply because of the fact that because there's so many, it's like it's risky now to even select a church because you don't know if you're gonna join a church and somebody does X, Y, Z. Yeah, so I'm just like, I got my personal relationship. I know it's important to have community, but maybe I'll do it in a space where I am a bit more familiar.
Okay, so
with.
so in that moment where you're like churchless, what characterizes your form of worship? Like, how do you talk to God?
That's the thing because it's.
Do you give him some money? How do you locate him?
It's interesting that you asked
Do you
about
believe in
tithing.
10%?
Yeah.
Pardon? Do I believe in 10%?
Yeah.
In giving 10%? Yes, I
You
believe
have to
in
be a
tithing.
giver.
To whom?
To just the world
To the
around
church.
you.
So right now, if I'm not going to a church, it's more so like maybe I find what's the word I'm looking for? Not organizations, but I'm looking for a particular word.
Sale.
No. I'm looking for something where there could
cause.
be impact. Yeah. It could be like a cause or something that I'm like, okay, I'll give the 10% here. But I'm still like, ideally, I'd like to have like a home church, right, that I can support. But in the meanwhile, I just kind of figure out where I can give my tithe, right, as I try to find that. But otherwise, in terms of worship or how I have like my quiet times. I'll spend my times reading my Bible. I'll listen to like my gospel music. I'll check in, right? Because that's what works for me in this time as I try to navigate finding that community, let's say, right? And then I'll have these conversations with people like y'all, right? With friends that I invite, and I try to understand, what is life like for you, where you're coming from, and we leave it at that. Yeah. Agatha, what about you?
I had a dream last night. Listen to me.
Wait, actually, before we get into that, if we can jump back to cultural observations real quick. I remember one time talking about this briefly with another group of people, and someone mentioned that, what did he say? How the streets are empty, the Kampala streets are empty on Wednesdays.
That's true.
Do you know why?
That is the day of the traditionalists worship.
It's when the traditionalists go look
It's
for...
hilarious, by the way. I
So
know,
is that true?
I don't know, but I have a story for you guys for that.
Tell us.
When I was at LDC, we had a moot court. And so during those moots, I had a particular point I wanted to make because I always found it awkward that in Ugandan courts, when you're swearing to give evidence, you are given two options, the Bible and the Quran. Mm-hmm. So I was always curious, what happens if for me I'm a witch doctor? Or I'm a believer in the traditional ways? So when I was playing the role of a witness, and when I checked in, the guy asked me, the court clerk asked me, which religion do you subscribe to? I said, Jaja Mwanga.
Random.
Yeah, and the guy was stuck. He didn't know what to do. So he asked the professional advisor, please, what should I make this man do? And I was made to affirm. But you see, affirming is a lesser kind of evidence than sworn evidence. You get? The evidence that a guy swears on is, you get? So I felt that was a bit awkward because these traditionalists, I mean, this is their country. You get? They're worshipping, they are believing in the religion of this place. You get?
Of their ancestors.
Yeah, but it's so hard. I felt like they were being discriminated.
Yeah, but also that, all that goes back with the relationship between the state
And
religion.
Yeah.
Like they're so tied to the hip that, first of all, their own history. I'm reading some book, and when the guy talks about the issue of like a religion. Humanity is a strong force also because we can think alike in large herds, like so many numbers. So that amount of unity cannot be achieved by any other animal. So if you find like a lion is stronger than you individually,
Yeah,
but when you guys think
the
through it
difference
properly,
is that if you're like 15
you'll
guys,
you'll
you
humble
can make a
it.
plan for it. You'll make a whole way. It will
Yeah,
fall.
you'll humble it. So things like a state, money, religion, they help people think in large herds, and which makes them
More governable.
susceptible to being influenced in large ways. That no one really thinks through something, but if someone they strongly believe in says something, it must be right. So when you talk about, so why, for example, we have courts, and you cannot swear in like one of those religions around Uganda or Masaka somewhere. So it's really evidence of
how politically powerful the other.
But also the way politicians quote them during elections. Have you ever realized that?
I think it's the greatest.
Like in your
image
area
motion.
code, the churches, the religious leaders
Oh.
should be in your pockets. Otherwise, those guys on ground, they're so influential.
They're the real influencers.
And it was evident the last election, for example, how the Catholic Church stepped in.
Yeah.
The powers that be felt
Yeah.
and they have feet on the neck. So
And they have since demonstrated that fear of what could happen again, to prevent it from happening again. Since that election, they've been trying to win over the Catholic.
so man, if you're a politician, you need
Because a lot of
Things
baggage.
like that.
Actually, there was a day Museveni had something at Kololo, and he needed people there. And of course, it was hard to mobilize people to go there. Kakande simply told his people that after service, we're all going to Kololo. Kololo was filled up. So, so the politicians definitely do benefit from the relationship with the religious guys. And vice versa, of course, because Kakande is guarded by UPDF. And,
That's what the French were doing in the 18th century.
yeah.
pardon?
Yeah, using the state, sorry. Honestly, sorry, I'm sorry enough. Listen, one of the things that led to the French Revolution was religion.
Yeah.
That's how they were using. That's what they were using to, govern people, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, but also like the head of the Anglican Church is the king, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays,
But as you know, the
it used to
Anglican
be-
Church, anyway.
It used to be the queen.
But now it's the king, yeah.
It's now the king.
Yeah.
So
That chick needed to rest, Bambi.
so that is also like
I think it's
the relationship, but also that doesn't mean that it's not entirely necessary, because I feel like, for example, why the poor are more likely to be followers of this religion is a kind of hope religions sell to you, which is also necessary to go through this day-to-day life, man. Life is tricky.
Because it's
Somebody once asked me
accountability.
that, have you ever heard of somebody finding Jesus when they're at their peak? Like when they're at their most successful, it's extremely rare.
You actually always find Jesus at yours.
At the
Always.
deepest.
Exactly.
Friends in the valley.
That's also true.
That is when you are easier to fish.
That's why you realize someone was about to die, then they believe Jesus.
It's because you were sensing the end. You thought,
But even me, because I also don't doubt I would never do that, because
God aside,
what is the only option left for you?
religion aside, I feel like for me, why we hold on to religion so much is because it absolves us of responsibility. Like you can easily say your village people, you'd be like, oh, the village people are working on me,
convenient, it's so convenient.
Jesus is going to deal with it.
Which is actually very important, honestly.
I think that's I think people who say that misunderstand.
For your
but-
life, my Jesus,
Yeah.
you will perish. God will only guide your steps, but it shouldn't be the end all be all. At least think. And for me, it worries me when people think alike in large groups, because I was like, there are women under this man's church believing that if their marriage doesn't work out, it's because they didn't pray enough.
Yeah.
Right? And not because the man was emotionally unintelligent or violent or an alcoholic. No. It's because you are not praying enough to sustain our altar. Are you serious? And you're saying this to young, desperate girls. Because when you're 25 and you're not developed, anything people say goes, because you're not confident enough to go through the consequences of your actions. But as you get older, life has boxed you and you survived, not once, not twice. You be like, okay.
Maybe I can take this thing
I
on.
can take this. I can
Not take this demon.
Listen, even the demons as well. I used to get sleep paralysis so much that one day I told the thing, I was like, why can't you come during day when I'm napping? When the sun is out, we could talk and take some tea. You want to come and read my sleep.
You know, it's funny. I got sleep paralysis when I was young.
And I don't get it anymore.
And when I was a Christian, I was terrified. I thought these demons have finally come from
And you can't even say Jesus. You just be there.
Also, but that's a very important point because demons also sound crazy.
Yeah, but when I was so relieved to learn that this is it has nothing to do with anything that I have done to offend God. It is just that.
But
no more human phenomena.
Believing in a person and a thing, I feel like it grounds you. You will want to do something, but because you believe someone is watching you.
Yeah,
I think for me, I think that it's important to believe in something. It anchors. You need an anchor, especially if you want to find your way back to yourself. You need those pillars. So if it's religion or church or, sleeping, I don't know what it is, but you need to find your thing. Otherwise, life is undoable. That's what I believe. So I can't believe how you two gentlemen.
For me, I feel like a burden was lifted off my shoulders.
So what do you believe in now? What is anchoring?
I think that religion, first of all, religion they institutionalized guilt as a virtue.
As a virtue.
I don't think that there's any point.
The audience is relating. The in studio audience.
Just walk around with these thoughts in your mind.
Because there's no point as a Christian that you feel that you have satisfied God.
God, right?
Because at all times you'll always feel, and you always hear them saying that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory.
And
of
meanwhile,
God.
most of these things they do as guilt is normal biological functioning.
Yeah,
Like fornication or no Karane.
I mean, for instance, they told us
You're
that if I look at a woman lustfully, I have already sinned. Imagine how terrible I used to feel. Because I was in senior 5. I went to a school that was mixed, but not just mixed. In my class, there were 72 girls and 21 boys.
72 girls, dang.
So it was crazy. So imagine with the young teenage hormones raging in you. I was looking at a woman lustfully every day.
You're raging.
So I was offending
Sometimes
Jesus.
twice a day.
I was offending Jesus every
The
day.
courtroom is this conversation.
Yeah, I was offending the man every day. So I would feel guilty permanently. Now what is this now? What am I going to do?
So now you look lustfully without any guilt.
Without any guilt. I don't feel ashamed at all.
Yes.
I'm happy. I know that it means that I am healthy. It means that
One of the things I can never forget about you, Oswan, is, again, this is during one of my trips, and this time we had some other Canadians with us, and the way that you described one of them. I don't know if you recall this, but I've never forgotten.
Oh.
Who was that?
Do you remember? Obviously, I'm not going to say the person.
I said she was juicy.
I said, can you please describe, what do you
I remember
mean
you
by
chastised me strongly. You told me, no, your choice of words is questionable.
I'm like, how can you sexualize somebody like that?
Yeah, but how is it
You don't
sexualized?
even know her. And you were saying you weren't sexualizing. And I'm like, what else could
Because
you
this
see
is how
me?
I perceived them.
Tell me.
This is how I perceived them. As, if I look at you, I say, this is by just, yes, I'm not sexualizing you, but you look juicy. So I don't think that I'm necessarily saying that I'm going to do anything about it, but it is my humble opinion that the person looks juicy.
Listen, you can't argue with a lawyer. So we're just going to put a pin in that and let the audience decide how they feel about juicy.
Maybe I was wrong, maybe I was not.
No, I just find it as though that's one of the anecdotes that I have about Oswan. One, that he's a fake Cameroonian, and two, the way that he describes certain people, it's quite imaginative, and it leaves not much to be desired, but you'll definitely leave thinking, I've learned a new vocabulary word to describe someone. But Karane, what about you? Bring us to the present day individual and your relationship with religion today.
That is pretty non-existent right now.
I think you actually have I think you do have a relationship with religion. Maybe it's not what it was when you were younger.
There are certain rituals that are a part of our culture. Also, religion is also heavily steeped in our social lives. So you find the one time in the year when the whole family can be together and whatever, it's Christmas, you get it? That is when you go, and it's a Christian ritual that Christmas Day you go to church, spend a whole morning.
And we all have
celebrating
the same morning, eating chapatis and shit.
Then the party is on in the afternoon, celebrating Jesus. So, but even in Uganda, like what I consider annual national holidays, like
Easter.
those two last weeks in December. Like guys, like even at your workplace, they know you will not be around in these particular weeks after like 28th or 25th.
And if people find you drunk during that week, it's okay, really.
Very socially acceptable.
It's understandable.
I really wish we had a Muslim for this episode. I think it would have been such an interesting perspective.
But even Eid, like brings back the family. Guys don't see each other actually. Families don't see each other. It's until like those, those holidays with
It's
the
the community gathering.
Yeah, but you do like things as like any other ritual. Like I'm not heavily steeped that I'll feel so touched by a preacher. I know like what I actually go to do to church actually is to understand like people's thinking. Like I really want to understand like what makes someone think this way. What makes someone believe this way. You find like these guys, they know like church leaders, they're stealing some money. Even Muslims always have those fights. But even in Uganda here, there's some sort of corruption, but they keep it on the low. But so you find these are things, this is knowledge available to their congregants, but they still believe when that man is talking, he's pretty much speaking on behalf of God, His teaching is very instructive on how we should live our lives and whatever. So I try to understand, especially now, like when I see these mushroom in churches. So when I hear there's a new one, it's Apostle Vega or Mbonye.
You call them mushroom churches. You try to understand where they keep coming from. Keep going.
But so I also believe that is a contact most of us have religion. But most people don't really
subscribe.
Why
do you say that?
Like the example someone used here, a guy holds a Bible and swears in before he gives evidence.
Yeah.
But guys, many guys go ahead and lie.
Yeah, anyway, they swear and lie either way.
They swear and lie.
Yeah.
So it's like there's that also subconscious that says, even when you break these things, I can easily get, another result if I lie. I've sinned to my God, but I know that perhaps this will help me better to win this case, not God. So
Josie said something interesting about the Wednesday thing, and I thought I would say one or two things about it.
Before you say that, I just want to interject and add, why is it that, because they said that the streets are empty, so is the assumption that there are actually a lot of traditionalists?
Yeah, no. That's the point that's what I wanted to explain.
Your next trip should be to Bujagali.
Are doing both. That I've actually come to realize that the more religious people are the same people who also believe in, because you see, I think it's a prerequisite. You see, an atheist will most likely dismiss both. You get, but the Christian, he believes that Jesus worked, but he also knows that the other guys work too. In fact, he thinks I believe that the average Christian in East Africa or Uganda believes more in the traditional things than his own Christian moves.
Yeah.
And here is why. Let me paint you a picture. You're going to play a game of football. One guy comes wearing a rosary, another guy comes with a talisman, or yirizi as we call it locally. We know that he has gone to a witch doctor somewhere and has handed him something that will make him more successful in the game. Most likely the guy with the rosary will be allowed to play. But if guys discover that you have the yirizi on you, they'll say this man is cheating. So it means they think the other one is going to work. I remember
that's all right, man.
Yeah. And there was once a big game, around 2004-05 there. I was still very young, but I remember it. Uganda versus Rwanda. It was a highly contentious game. I think it was a qualification for African Cup or something. During the game, Uganda failed to score. Like, guys got close to the goal, but they could not score. They missed so many clear chances. So guys started saying that maybe the Rwandans have used juju. Now, there was a man playing number 3 for Uganda Cranes. It was called Abubakar Tabula.
Abubakar
Tabula ran into the Rwanda goal and picked a kavera that had some leaves and some powder. And he was convinced that this is the thing I've got. This is the reason
Stopping the goals from
entering. So he grabbed it and started running away with it. The captain of Rwanda was a guy named Habyarimana. He chased him down with...
This is a Dambole.
Yeah, he's Dambole here. Yeah, he chased him down to get the nani and put it back. So it was crazy. There was chaos. The ref had to come in, fourth official.
Are you serious?
But anyway, long story short, it was removed and Uganda Cranes scored. So many Ugandans are convinced that these guys are deployed. But of course, for me, I don't imagine it's true. Because if it was true, we would be world champions. Because we would simply visit that witch doctor, tell him, please apply.
Yeah. Please apply for this game.
Yeah. But I just wanted to paint a picture of how much the average person believes in the efficacy of that thing.
But just not publicly.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
There's a huge
But the
stereotype.
group that believes in it is the same group that believes in Islam and
the other,
Christianity.
the other.
But we even you have seen famous political leaders like checking two shrines and they take picture. Our former speaker is on record. There's a picture of her entering a shrine properly, and they talk to their gods and whatever. And it is not so weird. First of all, for the average voter, of course, there are people who are really extreme Christians or Muslims that would see that as fake move. But down on the ground, her people, I don't think found any issue with her visiting that shrine. It actually makes you of an ally, more of an ally to them.
Right.
Wow.
Would you visit a shrine? Have y'all visited a shrine?
I have
Man, I
not.
missed one chance. I'm
not
really
a
regret
fan
it.
of being told. I'm not a fan of
A
being
friend
told
wanted to
my
take me there, but I
future.
missed the chance. I was away.
I'm not the kind of person who comes down,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
they go and tell you how your aunt is doing some weird things. I'll just ask my auntie what
Like,
I want.
what up?
Yeah. I'm like, what up?
Yo, I kid you not. The other day I was walking around the street. I was just going for like an evening walk, and I saw a dog cross the street, pick up a cavera with his mouth, and walk into a hole. I said, that is someone's uncle. That is fully someone's uncle. Because why is that dog acting like they're going home? with his suitcase and everything. No, I'm so serious. Like, we joke about these things, right? But I think there's also something to be said, right? Sometimes there's a lot of truth in jokes, right?
Yeah.
This whole, like, I don't know if it's shape-shifting or what,
Those
but
Africanist dogs. What's an Africanist dog? What kind of dog was it?
like the breed or what color?
Was it those common dogs that are always loitering?
The commonest dog you've seen in Uganda.
I think
Or
so.
are you sure? Or it was a Japanese Shepherd? If it was that common dog, then you're right. Those dogs
It seems
never die.
discrimination in races goes even to dogs.
The Ugandan breed.
They call it the Toyota of dogs.
I'm just
Those
saying.
dogs never die.
So be careful. Be careful approaching your aunts and uncles and being like, "What's up?"
You ask him and he can strike you dead.
There it is. There it is. I think a lot of this is all just ignorance as well, though. Like,
Yeah.
like having more knowledge and understanding, be it historical, be it contextual, it helps you remove the fear.
And even scientific.
Right. Yes. Just bring that in and have open dialogue and conversations. But I think a lot of people, because there's so much emotion involved in it as well, understandably, I guess, it's hard to have those conversations. It's hard to have these conversations.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, any
what
last
about
thought?
the Asians? Sorry.
The Asians.
God, listen.
Please
Oh,
let the
by the way.
Someone tweeted something recently and the Asians had discovered yet another thing.
Ah.
The person's comment was like, this is how life is when you stick to your gods. Because those guys, they don't believe in what we believe in. I don't even think they
Are
have
you sure?
Islam.
Oh, the
They
Japanese,
don't have Islam.
I think the Japanese strongly rejected
Christianity is really
Christianity.
relatively
They
new
tried
to
to offer
them.
it to them. They rejected it.
But there are Asians who believe like
They're there,
But
but
you're
a
talking
huge
about the
percentage
people
of
back
them.
home?
They're a tiny
the people back
minority.
home, like,
come again, the minority.
Yes, but I've also recently picked a deep interest in Asian spirituality, particularly Buddhism. Read a few books on the subject and I've been very impressed with some of the teachings that they have there. And most impressive for me has been the fact that these guys don't really believe in a literal God. Like there's no guy up there doing everything, all powerful. It's not like a king up there in the sky ruling over us, no. For them, what they believe in Buddha, a Buddha is, okay, the guy who is the first Buddha, he was called a guy named Gautama. But Gautama is just the first guy to become enlightened.
What is the prince?
Yeah, because the word Bud, it comes from the Sanskrit word Bud. And Bud means to awaken. And so a Buddha is the one who is awakened. So for them, they believe that everyone, if they come to that awakened state, that they can become a Buddha. So they don't worship Buddha. They see him as an example. Yeah.
What would Jesus do?
So you're interested in hearing more about like that side, but I think I would want either a Buddhist or an Asian even as a whole, if I can say that, to come and speak on that. And since none of us are that, we can't really say much.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying before we wrap up, do you have any last points or thoughts that you want to add as we conclude about religion in Uganda or religion in general?
I think for me, religion in general is that religion is still here. And whereas there are perhaps maybe increasing certain numbers of people who question it. I feel like a large percentage of us are still very, very religious. And so that means the state can continue to latch on it if it seems the right thing to do. But also the power that comes with, if you speak in a church, if you stand in a pulpit and the whole congregation is going to believe what you're saying, if they believe that your best leader should be this one, because this guy has contributed most to the church, he has brought in the money bags.
The most money.
Yeah. So it is not about perhaps this one is one of like is perpetually here with us. No, the guy checks in one Sunday. He says, "I'll buy 300 bags of cement." That is huge, and that's a guy they want. If it's such a leader, that to be close to them. So I feel like the state will continue to latch on it, but also the fact that they will also want to assume more power. For example, now there's a whole battle of, she was alluding to it because she was talking about how the Catholic Church now hates the Protestants, or what they call them?
The Pentecostals.
The Pentecostals. It is because a large number of youth are now resorting to the Pentecostal church. It's more lively. It's more tailored for them. What these guys call rejoicing is good for their spirits, because that's the older generation, because that's what they got, they learned with, and that's what they think, but it doesn't really relate to the fresh generation. So
the Gen Zs here in Uganda are Protestant, are Pentecostal.
Most of them. So yeah, I think it is still here, and I believe in more political power will emerge from these things.
Interesting.
Because if you look at Kayanja or look at
So when you run for power, you'll just become a believer for that short stint. Is that
of course,
what you're telling me?
unless you don't. Those are TOR.
Oh my
The
God.
requirements.
Those are SPOs, my friend.
I can't believe you.
Of course, you see, the problem
I
is
don't
that
see anything.
these guys, I don't think, for example, our president really believes in religion.
Of course not.
I don't think he does.
I'm convinced that
His understanding of history is very... But I feel also that he has no choice.
That's why he goes
The
everywhere.
politics demands that you must...
For him, it's just ruling, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also believe
It's
that...
good PR.
It needs to rule out of you.
I also
Yeah.
strongly believe that Britain would be happy to have an Anglican president here. Or like these
Yeah.
powers who are aligned to his...
Oh,
they would
so it's
also
the president's
That's why,
Catholic.
for example, in Uganda, it's very difficult for a Muslim to be president.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because now,
You will be more
historically, aligned in the geopolitics is that all these countries are also strengthened in different religions, tipped. So Britain is also comfortable having an Anglican president. But also Museveni knows, for example, that he cannot rule without a Catholic. So the vice president can come, from the Catholic Church too. So it's very intertwined.
Yeah. Church and state. And you don't see it
I hope they don't send
No.
for us drones here, because
Not soon.
honestly, my toe hurts so badly. I can't be running. I'm sorry.
Why would they send drones?
Because look at what Karane is accusing the president of.
Oh,
I haven't accused him.
He's just saying that he's an open, fair leader.
But honestly, one thing
you know the president has
what
even
the
once
very-
admitted to going to a shrine.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, he said he
That
went there.
guy
He's
anyway.
what?
That he went to a shrine.
No, he even tells a story, brother. He even
If you
tells
read his book, Sowing the
even tells
Mustard
a
Seed,
story. Sometimes they were fighting somewhere in Luero. They encounter a community. They believed in their gods. And they were like, you guys, you don't have to take guns. They were advising them Museveni, you don't have to take guns. But we can give you, our concoctions. You will kill all those people. Museveni tells them, please, just leave the fighting to us. But please pray for us. In fact, they
Ask the gods to help us.
They asked the gods there to help them win. But that was also really trying to bring people into you.
Yeah.
Because you can, of course, they had to go in with guns, with
He
bullets.
was being
What do you
tolerant,
mean?
but he didn't really believe what they were saying.
Yeah.
That's how we got colonized to begin with. Is that what you're saying?
With the hubs.
But of course, what do you mean?
We didn't have the guns. We had the prayers,
Yeah.
or some sorts, I guess.
Like one Kenja Kitide Ngwale. Of the infamous Maji Maji rebellion. You heard of those guys who told guys to pour some water on themselves,
Yeah.
that they would become bulletproof.
It didn't work.
Even one closer was Lakwena. Even Joseph Kony, because he was all about
Holy
Lord's
Spirit
resistance.
movement
And so also religion has worked for rebellions.
Yeah.
I feel like so even when they say to terrorism today, your first thing will be like, these are Arabs or whatever.
But that's because of the narrative that they've painted.
Of course,
Yeah,
but
but-
that also, of course.
Even in movies, man, they really should.
I'm told even that history of media is from churches. Like the media is in place to
Control
shape
the
thinking,
story, yeah.
to tell a story.
Yeah.
So if the one who has the media also can influence how can draw images in our heads. So the media just evolved now, but it officially it was
Because
for
they have
church.
something they call subliminal messaging.
Yeah.
That they can put the idea in your head without you even knowing that the idea is going into your head. Until
Even like a whole agenda setting theory. Those things are being studied.
they appeal to your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
All right, Oswan, final thoughts?
Religion is important in very many ways. I think it keeps people orderly. I think there would be a kind of anarchy that would exist if we just said, let everybody do whatever they want. So I think it's necessary. I don't think that it should entirely be removed. But however, on an individual level, I encourage everybody, to borrow the words of the former Chief Justice of South Africa, Mogoeng, said, I beg you, my people, do not outsource your thinking responsibility. For me, that is how I would like to end it today.
Think for yourself.
Don't outsource your thinking abilities.
I think that expands to so many things.
You have dragged our entire audience. Because podcasts are a form of escapism from your thoughts.
Oh, no.
Which
Are they?
For me, at least. If
No,
I don't
no,
want
no.
to think,
The
I
idea
make
of
sure
trying to
there's so
enforce is
much
that nobody should think for
sound
you.
around me.
What are your final thoughts on religion in Uganda?
I will go with what he said. Honestly, think for yourself. One of my biggest beliefs here, therapy and church, you shouldn't go to one if you can't think for yourself at least. Because they're so influential and you'll find yourself constantly in situations that you do not enjoy and you can't question them simply because a lot of people are agreeing with it. So for me, also moving from Catholicism to Pentecostal, the gap has been not being able to ask the preacher questions directly. Because in the Catholic Church, you can meet the priest after service and you can talk to him on Wednesdays or any regular day. He'll be at the parish, you can reach him. But here, you can't speak to the pastor. He has like guards, a swarm of people around him. And sometimes I want to ask people questions because when you say something, what do you mean? And why can't I ask you what you mean? Why is it blasphemous for me to be curious? Or if I can't speak in tongues and I want to understand what that's about, I'm just curious, by the way. But for you, you're like, these are the non-believers we're talking about type of thing. Say, nah, it's a gap. So think for yourself. But if you believe in God, only you know how far He has brought you. So don't be dissuaded.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, it's based off of this conversation, I feel as if, as someone who believes, right, people have used the name of God to do literally everything else but what I think was the original intention, right? Which is like gathering, community, and I think at the core, that's what a lot of people are looking for, no matter what your religion is, no matter what your beliefs are, and sometimes we just stray from that. And we forget the humanity in each other, whether someone believes in something or doesn't. You don't have to look down on them or think otherwise. But I think that takes a lot of emotional intelligence. And it's so much easier to just be like, if you're not with me, then you're obviously against me. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. With that being said, thank you, Oswan, for joining us today.
Pleasure is mine.
It was lovely chatting with you and getting into this a bit. We talked a lot about online presence, so before we wrap up, I want to touch on that a bit more. Agatha, let the people know where they can find you.
We already told you. You know what it is. Akelo as well. It's Twitter and IG. Do you think we'll ever get used to calling it X? And will we call our tweets X's? So many questions to these answers. Where can we find you, Oswan?
Karane, what about you?
The Afande.
B_Oswan.
B_Oswan.
Benjamin.
Okay.
Ah.
So innocent. You know babies who they call Benjamin. Everybody's excited for them.
Are you last born?
No.
But did you come at a time when the family hadn't had babies for a while?
Maybe they hadn't had a male baby.
Oh, you see?
Are you the only
No
boy?
wonder. That's what I'm trying. No wonder.
No one.
Everybody still calls you Benja.
No, they call me Ben.
Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. That's
Okay, but we the people who don't know you, we call you Oswan.
Yeah, I prefer Oswan.
why.
No problem.
Because
Because
Benjamin
it's an
is really
African
just a
name.
little-
Benjamin is...
Oswan is an African name.
yes, it's my grandfather's father's name. Everybody is called
You
Oswan.
carried it. You guys don't believe in them carrying stuff in?
I whatever they had, I'm happy to carry it.
Wow.
Period.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
So let us know what you thought of this episode and tune in next week to find out what we've been up to, how we're navigating these Kampala streets, and ultimately why
Uganda remains our country.
Bye.
Bye bye.